absolutely loved MobLand. I felt like watching every episode feels like a film. There's so much drama and suspense in every single episode. What drew you both to wanting to be involved? Starting with you, Tom.
Starting with you, Tom.
Well, thank you, Paddy. Thank you. I wanted to play Harry because I wanted to come back after doing 7 years of superheroes with something that was a bit more gritty and back to, I suppose, swearing and
Swearing.
I just wanted to swear and deal with slightly more, I suppose, materials that were of in a genre which was completely different to what I'd just been doing. And what I liked about Harry was that he was presented as a conciliary or a diplomat or a fixer, as opposed to sort of somebody who runs around and shoots people and bullies them. I was intrigued by the concept of diplomatic relations and how to present that in the world of in a gangster show.
Paddy, how about you?
Well, you know, it was the whole thing for me. It was like the chance to work with Tom on something long term. I keep laughing.
Yeah, but I wanted to work with you too, Paddy. I wanted to play Harry. Yeah, I just really wanted to work with Tom. It's
a good answer.
The whole package for me too.
Well, you know, based on the initial call, it was Tom, and it was Pierce and Helen, and it was Guy Ritchie, and it was Jez Butterworth. You know, on these scripts that Ronan Bennett had written, and Jez was, you know, reworking things a bit, and I just thought, well, you don't walk away from that to begin with. But the character of Kevin was an interesting one because I took on the job based on the premise that Kevin was going to evolve and change, you know, because early on there's a lot of answering phones and that, and I'm like, that's not my area. But it develops, you know, and I was able to sort of, you know, have a sort of relationship with Jez anyway, but I was able to sort of get in touch with him and talk about where we could possibly take this character. And Tom was a big help with stuff like that as well. Sure. So yeah, it was the whole deal, and then it was just a matter of jumping in because it was quite crazy. We were sort of getting rewrites as we were going, and things were developing as we were going. So you had to sort of protect your character and sometimes fight your own corner a little bit. Yeah. But that, to be heard and seen, but that kind of fed into the character of Kevin, who's someone who's really struggling for respect and status within his family. He wants the love and respect of his father, but he keeps being sent out of the room like a little boy while the men talk, you know. And he's got his own demons, Kevin, that he has to sort of deal with, that we discover sort of part way through the show. So there was a transformation there that made it interesting.
We don't ask, we take. And when someone forgets their place, I've got a man for that.
Problem solved.
Tom, you mentioned that your role really is a fixer, but you do it with such class. You're always so put together. You're endearing, yet you're also extremely intimidating. How did you balance playing that role so well?
I don't know. If I did, I think the input that came from sort of common sense was to present somebody who was affable in any room, with anybody in any, he could work anywhere. I mean, it's obvious that because he's in a gangster series, he's going to be part of the mob, right? But if you took him out of that and just portrayed somebody like that in the world, he's quite personable and honest. And I think one of the notes on him was that his word means something. So that allows you to not sort of scream from the rooftops or yell, I'm a bad man or I'm a gangster. That wasn't essential. So to just be, I suppose, very straight and as honest and clean as possible. But the job, the family that he works for, that name alone speaks for itself. So there was no reason to ever play a gangster. And then obviously violence is violence, so you can compartmentalize a scene where you're being aggressive or physical, and that in itself is the output of part of the work of what he does for a living. And then you can compartmentalize back to being normal, whatever normal is. Yeah.
You know, Pierce actually told me just a couple minutes ago that you have the heart of a saint.
Oh, bless.
What was it like working with him and Helen, really? Any stories to share?
Do you know, I went to the same drama school as Pierce, so I've you know, long been aware of him from a student, as somebody who entered the workplace before they were famous, and how they sort of operated at school and stuff like that. So it was a joy to be able to work with him. I've known him for a while, but I've never worked with him before. So and he's brilliant. He's an extremely graceful and kind, soulful, heartfelt actor. He's full of heart and very, very brave, and has a huge range. Helen also, she has an incredible range and an incredible legacy as well. So both of those actors it's an honour to work with people who are that talented and have showed that for so long.
So, are you with us or are you against us?
Paddy, how about you? Obviously, you play Pierce's son.
Yeah.
And Helen's son. What was that dynamic like working with those two?
I loved it. I loved them. I worked with Pierce really briefly years ago on a film called The World's End, where he played our old school teacher. And Helen, I'd only met once, but I've got a massive amount of respect for both of them. Pierce has got a really great presence. He's a really calm influence and a great guy to work with. And later on in the season, I get to have some really sort of decent moments with him, just one-on-one. And it was great to sort of go toe-to-toe with him. And Helen the same. I'd learnt a lot from watching both of them. Helen has an ease about what she does that I kind of envy.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
Yeah, she does.
I think
Makes it look easy.
we're pretty similar in some ways, in that there's this emotional animal in there, and to watch people convey that it's at no sort of spiritual or mental cost to them is quite an art form.
But it is.
It's
though.
admirable.
It is, but you wouldn't notice.
No, you wouldn't
She's
know.
So affable,
It's very admirable, and that's what I learned from them. And also, the fact that, well, with Helen, I remember we shot a scene, and I went in, come in the house, and I go, "Hello, Mum," and I give her a kiss on the cheek. And after we did the take, she came over to me and she went, "I think you should kiss me on the lips." And I went, "Oh, really?" She went, "Yeah, I think we should do that. I think that's what we do as a family." So then I spent the day kissing Helen. And then, if I walked in to get a cup of tea, I'd have to give her a kiss on the lips. So
When she went to Dave from HR and said,
Yeah.
"He keeps kissing me on the lips."
Kissing me.
I don't want him to.
But yeah, it wasn't the worst call home I'd had to make. So I've had to kiss Helen Mirren today, but she insisted.
She insisted. It was her idea.
There's nothing I could do about it.
Nice.
But with that kind of family,
That's a good shout. She's smart. Isn't she?
yeah, very smart.
Any
Brilliant.
other last stories about the cast? I can tell how much you guys enjoyed working with each other, and then I'll let you go. Any other fun stories that jump out from?
Do you know what? There are all sorts when you're trying to do something as a team, and in the amount of time that we had to do it, and there was a lot of ground to cover. I'm sure there was plenty of stories, because we certainly got on really, really well. But I can't think of any right now.
I'm like
okay.
that. I'm like,
It's okay.
I don't think we can sort of tell you the sort of
I don't
stuff that
think
we
we've-
laugh at.
Yeah, no.
Well, I think kissing Helen is as good as it gets.
That's a nice
so
cliche.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
story.
That is a good story.
Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Really enjoyed it.